Bhaktivedanta Swami Shri Prabhupada ki Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Shri Shri Krishna Balaram ki Gaur Premanandi. Big place. My first visit to the big place. Well done, all of you. Of course, course, especially to Pyari, but Pyari's got a team, and that's all you plus people that have been coming shortly. Yesterday, when discussing Balaram's appearance, which of course took place slightly different place than Krishna's appearance, because Krishna appeared in Mathura and Balaram appeared in Vrindavan as the son of Rohini. One of Balaram's names is Rohini Nandana, the son of Rohini. So we discussed some of the early pastimes of Krishna and Balaram in Vrindavan. And what I said I would do is what I'm going to do. We will discuss today Krishna's pastimes, Krishna and Balaram's pastimes in Dwarka. So for those of you that like Krishna's pastimes, that's everybody here. What was the place that Krishna was residing before he went to Dwarka?
Vrindavan.
In between Vrindavan and Dwarka was Mathura. 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 And the last pastime that Krishna performed in Mathura, what was that?
Leaving Mathura?
Huh?
Leaving Mathura?
Well, Krishna was being attacked by both Kalyavana and Jarasandha. Krishna said, whoa, some of the Yadu dynasty might get hurt with all of this army stuff. Balaram, you hold them off. I'm going to take everybody to Dwarka. It wasn't even a Dwarka yet. But he did it in a jiffy. He had Vishwakarma construct Dwarka in the ocean, a city within the ocean. And then he situated everybody in their residential quarters. And then Krishna came back. And he came back right on the battlefield. And Kalyavana saw him first. And Krishna, he said, Harto, Kalyavana, and began running. Kalyavana began chasing. Coward, stop! You're a Kshatriya, stand and fight. Krishna looked back and kept running. Took him inside the cave where Mujikunda was residing. He kicked Mujikunda, thinking it was Krishna, that kind of got pooped out and was sleeping. And he got cindered. And then this wonderful exchange between Mujikunda and Krishna. Beautiful, beautiful section of the Bhagavatam. Then Krishna went back on the battlefield. Jarasandha, you coward. Krishna ran. What's the name of Krishna when he was running from the battlefield? From Ranchor. Ranchor. Because that's something a Kshatriya is not supposed to do, is run from the battlefield. Krishna has a special name for running from the battlefield. Because it was a pastime. And he and Balaram went far, far away and up a mountain, and Jarasandha searched for him everywhere, couldn't find him. So he decided to set the mountain on fire, pyromaniac, so he could kill Krishna. He thought Krishna's finished now. But Krishna and Balaram, the last pastime is they jumped from the mountain, came in for a landing, and then what happened next? Krishna and Balaram went to Dwarka. Right? Now, why did Krishna do things that way? He could have done anything he wanted to do. Why did he do it that way? Our acharyas explain. Rukmini was in distress. And it was time for Krishna to marry his first wife, Rukmini. So he did it that way because he had to hurry off and go to Dwarka, to be in Dwarka, so Rukmini could send a messenger from Dwarka, or to Dwarka, for Krishna to come and rescue her. But even before they got to Dwarka, you know what happened? Balaram married first. That happened first. I didn't know that until we visited Dwarka, and then went to Raivata mountain, which is from Mathura or from Vrindavan area. It's on the way. It's in between. It's close, but it's not in Dwarka. So there was a king, Revata, and he had a daughter, Revati. And the narration goes, so we're honoring Balaram. And the pastime of Krishna outside of Vrindavan and Mathura, heading to Dwarka. So King Raivata was so impressed with his daughter, he decided only the most qualified person should marry my daughter. So what did he do? He went to see Lord Brahma to ask for, marriage arrangement for his most qualified daughter. And when he got to Brahmaloka, he was really qualified. He can go all the way to Brahmaloka, pay a visit. We can't do that. Very qualified. Brahma was busy hearing some recitation of scripture, so he had to wait. And then when Brahma was finished, then Brahma said, welcome to Brahmaloka. How may I be of assistance to you? Here's my daughter, she needs a husband, and must be very qualified because she's superlatively qualified. And Brahma just laughed. My dear king, don't you realize the time here in Brahmaloka is so different than the time on earth, that even just the time that you've been waiting to finish the scripture recitation, many yuga cycles have passed. Your kingdom is long gone. When you go back, they're not even going to recognize you. But there is a very qualified person who your daughter should marry, and that's Balaram. So go back. And when you go back, find Balaram and say, Lord Brahma sent me. The matchmaker. So when he went back, there was Balaram, but it was a different yuga because King Revata was from a previous yuga, and Revati was very tall compared to the stature of humans at that time. So what did Balaram do? This is now from our acharyas. He used his plow, placed it on her shoulder, and she became the right size. And they married. At Raivata mountain, we're going to hear a little bit later about Raivata mountain in a different way. Then off they went, Revati in tow, along with Balaram, to Dwarka. And when they reached Dwarka, this is a really old painting. This is an old painting of the marriage of Krishna with Rukmini. This is their wedding, and the wedding is taking place in Dwarka. And you see, the different divisions of society, the Brahmanas in one area, the Kshatriyas in another area, etc. But it wasn't really simple. It wasn't simple at all, because Rukmini's father, king of Vidarbha, name is Bhishmaka. He wanted Rukmini to marry Krishna, but there was a family problem. I know nobody here knows family problems too much. There was one in this family. And the elder brother of Rukmini, named Rukmini, he was envious of Krishna, big time. And so he, Rukmi, wanted his sister, younger sister, Rukmini, to marry Shishupal. Shishupal, forget it. But social custom at the time, ladies didn't have the same kind of say in these matters that exist today. So marriage arrangements were going forward. And no way was Rukmini wanting to marry Shishupal. She, in fact, had already given her heart to Krishna. And how did that happen? It happens the same way that could happen to any one of us. She heard about Krishna. She didn't see Krishna. She didn't see any videos of Krishna, or send a photo of the guy and give his bio and the whole thing that goes on today. She just heard about Krishna from Narada Muni. And when she heard about Krishna, of course this is a Leela, because she is eternally associated with Krishna. Eternally associated, but it's a pastime of the marriage of Krishna and Rukmini. And so what she decided to do was she wrote a letter. She didn't send a text message or anything. She wrote a letter and got a very confidential Brahmana to carry the letter. And the letter was to be carried to Krishna Dwarka from Vidarbha to Dwarka. There's some distance, but a very confidential, trusted Brahmana. And when the Brahmana got to Krishna, he had privileges in bringing a message from the daughter, because Krishna's omniscient. He knew the whole thing ahead of time. But he got, expedited treatment to go see Krishna. And he read Krishna's letter, or Rukmini's letter. Here's Rukmini's letter, just going to read. Oh, beauty of the worlds, having heard of your qualities, which enter the ears of those who hear and remove their bodily distress, and having also heard of your beauty, which fulfills all the visual desires of those who see, I have fixed my shameless mind upon you, O Krishna. O Akunda, you are equal only to yourself in lineage, character, beauty, knowledge, youthfulness, wealth, and influence. O lion among men, you delight the minds of all mankind. What aristocratic, sober-minded in marriage of a girl of a good family would not choose you as her husband when the proper time is come? Therefore, It's a marriage proposal from the girl to the guy. My dear Lord, I have chosen you as my husband, and I surrender myself to you. Please come swiftly, O Almighty One, and make me your wife. My dear lotus-eyed Lord, let Shishupam never touch the hero's portion, like a jackal stealing the property of a lion. If I have sufficiently worshipped the Supreme Personality of Godhead by pious works, sacrifices, charity, rituals, and vows, and also by worshipping the demigods, brahmanas, and gurus, then may Gadagraja come and take my hand, not Dhamma Ghosh's son, or anyone else. Oh, unconquerable one, tomorrow, when my marriage ceremony is about to begin, you should arrive unseen in Vidarbha and surround yourself. She's giving him the strategy. She's a Kshatriya princess. She's very strategic. Surround yourself with the leaders of your army, then crush the forces of Chaitya and Magadendra, and marry me in the Rakshasa style, winning me with your valor. Since I will be staying within the inner chambers of the palace, you may wonder, how can I carry you away without killing some of your relatives? But I shall tell you a way. The plot thickens. On the day before the marriage, which sounds like it's the same day she's writing, tomorrow she's going to be married, there is a grand procession to honor the royal family's deity. And in this procession, the new bride goes outside the city to visit Goddess Girija. Girija is the local name there for Durga. And it was explained that she had been kept deliberately indoors, not of public sight because she's too beautiful, everyone would go wow and faint. That she would stay inside, but just as one occasion, the day before the marriage, to go to visit the Durga temple. And that's when you can take me away. O lotus-eyed one, great souls like Lord Shiva hanker to bathe in the dust of your lotus feet and thereby destroy their ignorance. If I cannot obtain your mercy, I shall simply give up my vital force, which will have become weak from the severe penance I will perform. Then, after hundreds of lifetimes of endeavor, I may obtain your mercy. It's pretty direct. So the Brahmana messenger from Rukmini read this message and requested Krishna to consider and then do whatever he's going to do very quickly. So, you want to read those later. That's where a few blocks from the palace of the king, heading to see the deity of Durga. She paid her respects to Durga. Now again, what's Rukmini doing worshipping Durga? It's the family deity, but similar, very similar to the young gopis who are worshipping Katyayani, was another name of Durga. She's the internal potency of Krishna. She's worshipping Yogamaya because Yogamaya is the spiritual counterpart of Durga. Or Durga is the shadow reflection of the spiritual counterpart, Yogamaya. Right? So she was offering her prayers, please protect me. And as she was walking out after seeing Durga, she saw Krishna coming with his chariot, and her heart was leaping with joy. She had never seen him before. She had only heard about him. But when she saw him, the eternal relation between Rukmini and Krishna immediately erupted, and Krishna, one hand on the reins of the horses, the other hand securing Rukmini so she wouldn't fall out of the swift-moving chariot, sped off in the distance. And as Krishna was going very swiftly, the soldiers, they were shocked. Marriage is supposed to happen tomorrow, and Shishupal's here, and especially angry. And he took a vow, as the elder brother of Rukmini. He took a vow. He swore, I shall not enter Kundina if I do not kill Krishna in battle and bring Rukmini back with me. I swear this to you. And he went chasing after Krishna. Now who can catch Krishna? Mother Jasoda can catch Krishna because she has devotion. Krishna allowed Mother Jasoda to capture him from behind. Although we hear from the Upanishads, he can overcome all others running. He's swifter than the swiftest. But somehow, by his own arrangement, Rukmi caught up with him. And when Rukmi caught up with him, Krishna was ready to finish him. Because he'd taken a vow, he was ready to kill Krishna. So with his sword raised, Rukmini offered her appeal to Krishna. Oh, controller of all mystic power, immeasurable one, Lord of lords, master of the universe. Oh, all auspicious and mighty armed one, please do not kill my brother. Now, she knew her brother's demeanor, that he had this vow to kill Krishna, but she's pleading on behalf of her brother. And then, so Krishna didn't kill Rukmi. What he did was, as you see from the painting here, he used his very sharp sword and cut off almost all of his hair. Like we have that too. He left patches of hair in different places, so he looked funny. Of course, he could have then gone to a barber and shaved off the rest. It was humiliation. Balaram came. Balaram and Krishna's pastimes. There was a question yesterday. One of the guests asked, little boy, did Krishna and Balaram ever have disagreements? And he was looking at his brother, his elder brother. So here's one, because it's a pastime. Balaram took a different position than Krishna. My dear Krishna, you have acted improperly. This deed will bring shame on us. For to disfigure a close relative by shaving off his mustache and hair is as good as killing him. Because that's something that was done to Ashwatthama, right? Similar. For one who has been honored, dishonor is worse than death. So, he didn't kill him, but he killed him. So Balaram is elder brother admonishing the younger brother. But interestingly, later on, Balaram killed Rukmi. And the circumstance was the occasion of Aniruddha's marriage. We're going to hear a little bit about the marriage of Usha and Aniruddha. A little bit. And on the occasion of that marriage, Balaram, who was fond of competition, he was engaged in a chess match with Rukmini. And Rukmini was making fun of Balaram. And making fun in such a way that Balaram became very angry. Balaram took his club and smashed Rukmini and killed him. He was offensive. But, he was offensive in other ways too, but don't offend Balaram. You're in big trouble. He's got a powerful club. So, the occasion of Usha and Aniruddha's marriage is described in the Bhagavatam like this. Bali Maharaj is a second generation descended from whom? He's the grandson of Prahlad Maharaj. Bali Maharaj is one of the great authorities, one of the Mahajans, although he was born in a Asura dynasty. And his eldest son of 100 sons was named Banasura. Banasura underwent great austerities as a worshipper of Lord Shiva, and he got this benediction from Lord Shiva. He wanted 1,000 hands, 1,000 arms, 500 on each side. That's a lot of arms. And there's many things that happened, but in his headquarters, or his chief palace, where Banasura resided, Shonitapura, he had one daughter named Usha. And Usha started having these dreams at night. Amorous, explicit amorous dreams. Doesn't give the X-rated version of what the dreams were. But she was, woo, 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 dreams of this young man. And she had a very, very dear friend named Chitralekha, who kind of understood the mind of her dear friend Usha, and asked, Usha, what's going on? Something's going on. What's going on? So Usha disclosed everything. And Chitralekha had some mystic powers. One of those mystic powers was she could see things from a distance, so she volunteered, and she was good at making drawings or paintings. That's what her name means, Chitralekha. So she started making drawings of different attractive young men. This one, that one, the other one. And when she made a drawing of Aniruddha, Usha started to blush. That's him. That's the one I've been having these amorous pastimes with. So Chitralekha said, if you like, I could bring him here. I have a mystic power. I can go in the dead of night when no one sees me, and he won't even know because he'll be fast asleep, and right after when he wakes up, he'll be by your side. How's that? Whoa, I need a friend like you, Chitralekha. Go for it. So she went. And she brought Aniruddha, as you see in the painting, right into the inner chamber where this unmarried girl resides, asleep. Now, in Vedic culture, the arrangement was made that the women's quarters were in the interior of the house, men's quarters were in the exterior of the house, and men never went to the interior of the house, except for purposes of procreation with their wife, and otherwise men wouldn't enter at all. That was the system. So this was going on for days. That Aniruddha's living with this unmarried Usha in Usha's private chamber in the interior of the palace. And the assistants of Usha started to notice markings on her body and some signs that, something's hanky-panky is going on at night here with Usha. And so they told Shishupal. And Shishupal, with his 1,000 arms, came immediately. And he was shocked to see what he saw. Here, in the private chambers of his daughter, is this young fellow. So, immediately, a big battle ensued and took several generals to subdue Aniruddha. They subdued him, put him in jail. Months passed. And meanwhile, back in Dwarka, Aniruddha had just disappeared. And he was gone for 4 months. And after those 4 months, guess who told the story? Narad Modi. He's an instigator sometimes. So Narad Modi showed up and told Ugrasena, hey, guess what? You're looking for Aniruddha? He's in prison. He's in Banasura's prison. Immediately, Ugrasena summoned the entire Yadu army and went marching off to do battle with Shishupal and all of his people. Now Banasura. Banasura is a great devotee of Lord Shiva, so he called upon Lord Shiva, help! So Lord Shiva, pictured here in the left side, yawning, and upper left side, that's his son Kartikeya. Kartikeya did battle with Pradyumna, that's Aniruddha's father. Pradyumna is the direct son of Krishna and Rukmini, and Aniruddha is the son of Pradyumna. So big battle ensued. You see in the lower right hand side, that's Ganesh. So the Lord Shiva and his horde, his 2 sons, Ganesh and Kartikeya, and all of the others, were engaged in battle. And this one fought that one, and that one fought the other one, and so on. There's Balaram with his club. There's Krishna with his club. Looks like a skinny club. Not much bigger club. And this whole description of battle, and there was a contention between Lord Shiva and Krishna. So what did Krishna do? He fired a yawning weapon. That's what you see. Balaram, Lord Shiva's yawning. So there wasn't any direct combat between the two. But finally the entire army of Banasura was destroyed and only Banasura was left. Krishna with the Sudarsana chakra chopped off all but 4 of the arms of Banasura and was ready to finish Banasura. And then this interesting appeal by Lord Shiva on behalf of his devotee, Banasura, spare him. He was requesting Krishna to spare him. And Krishna not only spared him, but Krishna gave some benediction to Banasura. He will always be in your service. He'll live a very long lifetime, and he'll be very devoted to you. And just Usha and Aniruddha have to get married. So Usha and Aniruddha got married. And then during that marriage is when there was this chess game with Rukmi, and Rukmi was cheating, and Rukmi was blaming Balaram for being incompetent. He got bonked on the head. Balaram's club. finished. We discussed this pastime briefly yesterday in describing the power of Balaram's club. But Balaram, not only he used his club to make Revati the same height as himself, his plow, very powerful. With his plow, he was dragging the entire city, imagine. Not just like, house or something. Entire city, dragging the entire city to be flooded in the Ganges. And it had to do with Samba and Lakshmana. So Lakshmana was Duryodhana's daughter, and on the Swayamvar ceremony of Lakshmana, Samba interceded and kidnapped her, kind of like what Krishna did with Rukmini. Only when Samba was being pursued, many generals, they captured him and imprisoned him. And then that news came to Dwarka. Ugrasena was going to again break the entire army, but Balaram said, I'll go as a peacemaker. A detail is when they reached the outside of Hastinapur, they set up a camp. And who was the best of all ministers from Dwarka? Best of all ministers from Dwarka was Uddhava. Akur was way up there, but Uddhava was sent by Balaram to go deliver the message. When they saw Uddhava, they honored him with great celebrity. And then Uddhava explained what was the purpose of Balaram's coming. And they were really angry, insulted, and hissing and all of that stuff. And they sent Uddhava back, tell him to get lost. This is an insulting request. So don't anger Balaram. You got a problem. But he started dragging the entire city of Hastinapur towards the Ganges, and they recognized they made a mistake immediately. And went to greet Balaram, who was very peaceful, said very well. I'll accept your gifts and accept your apology and everything, but Samba and Lakshmana have to get married right away. And so that happened, and they returned back to Dwarka with so many gifts and so much honor and praise, with Samba and Lakshmana as new wife together. There was one other incident mentioned, so I want to discuss that a little bit. This is a Krishna Balaram pastime in Dwarka. And it has to do with the marriage of their sister, Subhadra. Subhadra was the younger sister, and as was the culture, the elder brother was stating his preference. And because Subhadra was most qualified, Balaram, like Rukmini, Balaram required that Subhadra would not go outside. No one could see her in a public place. But he, Balaram, wanted Subhadra to marry whom?
Duryodhana.
Duryodhana. Forget it. But that was his desire. Now, around this time, there's a pastime in Mahabharata where the Kauravas had sent armies to take away cows from the cowherds. And the cowherds, when they saw the difficulty, they went and took shelter of Arjuna. This is during their exile, not during the time they were supposed to be incognito. And so Arjuna, responding to cowherd men, immediately went to get his weapons to protect the cows and cowherds. But there was a problem. There's always a problem, some kind. So the problem was, his weapons were in the same chamber where Yudhisthira and Draupadi were. But he just went in because it was an emergency, and he got his weapons and went back and stopped the dacoits from harming the cowherd men and taking away their cows. So he did his protection program, but when he went back, he told his brother, "We have taken a vow to our mother that each one of us would be with Draupadi for 1 month and the others would not interfere. So I interfere, and so I need to purify myself, undergo some atonement. I'm going to all the holy places throughout the land." And Yudhisthira said, no. That vow is superseded by an emergency. The emergency was, you had to give protection to the cows and the cowherds. So you did the right thing. You didn't do the wrong thing. And Arjuna was insisting, no, I violated my word and the word of the request of our mother, so I have to purify myself. So he went on pilgrimage. Many things happened while he was on pilgrimage, but one of those is he went to Dwarka. And when he went to Dwarka, he didn't want to be recognized. And so an arrangement was made that he, although he has this Kshatriya body, he was dressed like a sannyasi. And he went to see Krishna. And when he went to see Krishna, Krishna noticed, Arjuna keeps looking at my sister. That was the eyes. It was telling. And sure enough, when he asked Arjuna, "What's up?" and Arjuna said, "Really attracted to your sister. Do you think it's possible I could marry her?" And Krishna said, "That would be a wonderful outcome." Very charming sannyasi, Arjuna. And Arjuna became very attracted to her. And so Krishna went and asked, "What do you think, Subhadra? Are you looking forward to marrying Duryodhana?" No. And what are your thoughts about who you'd like to marry? Blushing, she said, "Well, the sannyasi, I think he likes me, and I like him, and woo. That's that. So Krishna then understood what to do. He informed Arjuna to do the same thing that Krishna had done with Rukmini. And on a special occasion, here comes Arjuna with his chariot and puts Subhadra in the back of the chariot, and off they go. And Balaram, Shishupal was there, and Duryodhana was there, and the whole gang was there. All the demons, demoniac kings. And they were enraged. Arjuna is just kidnapped Subhadra, Krishna's sister, the day before she was to be married. get him! And of course, Arjuna was able to hold off everybody. Balaram said, get the entire Yadu army and go after him. But before we do that, I should take permission from Krishna. Although he's the elder brother, as we discussed yesterday, he just loves to serve Krishna. He wouldn't do any major thing like this without Krishna's consent. So he went and told Krishna, we're going to send the army, what do you think? He said, no. He said, I think it's glorious. Because he was feeling insulted. Arjuna's just, was it the day before the marriage or the marriage day? Marriage day? Arjuna came, in any case.
Before.
Huh?
Had to be the day before. If he did the same thing Krishna did, he came the day
Well,
before.
but I don't know if it was the day before. It may have been the day. In any case, it's noble in our Kshatriya life when a princess is taken in this Kshatriya manner and taken away by force and by power. It's very honorable. Not a disgrace, it's a great honor. And not only that, but if there's a marriage between the Yadu dynasty and the Pandava dynasty, that'll be great. We'll have this alliance of power between the two dynasties. That's really good. So rather than sending your armies to go have battle with him, take your armies and bring him back and offer him presents and gifts and honor him and treat him with great respect, and let's have the wedding tomorrow. And Balaram just wants to serve Krishna. So he did a 180, and instead of going after Krishna to do battle with him, he went after Krishna to have the marriage. And so we saw the wedding ceremony, major procession. This is illustrations done for Hridayananda Maharaj's beginning effort for translating Mahabharata into English. These were published in Bhagavad magazine. The marriage arrangement for Subhadra and Arjuna. A few more and we'll be finished. One of the pastimes of Balaram killing demon, one of them was Dvidvida gorilla. Dvidvida gorilla was a friend of Narakasura. Narakasura, of course, was Krishna's son who had become a demon by bad association and had kidnapped 16,000 princesses. So they all appealed with their prayers to Krishna to come and rescue us. Mora, the demon, and then Narakasura were killed by Krishna. And to avenge the death of Krishna, Dvidvida came. And he went to a place where Balaram, because you remember that's where Balaram was married by the Raivataka mountain to marry Revati, the daughter of Revata. So he went, Balaram was there in the evening performing rasa dance with many ladies. He's the personality of Godhead. We cannot imitate what he was doing. And Dvidvida came, deliberately, purposefully ignoring Balaram. He showed his lower parts to the ladies. And Balaram didn't like that, naturally. And so a battle ensued between them. Dvidvida took big boulders and tree stumps and trying to smash Balaram. But guess who won? Krishna and Balaram. Balaram defeated Dvidvida gorilla in Raivataka mountain. Another pastime of Balaram outside of Vrindavan and Mathura was when he was on pilgrimage he went to a place where Romaharshan Sutta was narrating Puranas, and all of the assembly rose when Balaram came except for one, Romaharshan, because he thought, I'm reciting the scripture, so I'm to stay seated. Here's a little Prabhupada pastime. It's over there, but it's related. This was in New York, and one time when Prabhupada was to arrive in New York, there was a plan made. They wanted to leave some devotees at the temple to receive him, and some would go to the airport to receive him at the airport. But they made this plan instead. They were going to send everybody to the airport and have the driver of Prabhupada's car take a longer route to get back to the temple, so everybody who was at the airport could make it to the temple and receive him at the temple. But it worked out the other way. Prabhupada got to the temple first, and no one else was there to greet him. Not nice, but that's what happened. And when he went in to the temple, the Brooklyn Temple was locked, like your back door back here. But someone was there at the door to let Prabhupada in. Prabhupada came directly to the temple room, and right in front of the deities, Radha Govinda. Now I wasn't there because I was in one of the cars that was trying to get there. But Rukmini Dasi was the pujari, and she told us later. She was doing arti. And when Prabhupada came into the temple room, she didn't know whether she should continue doing arti, because it's one of the rules when you begin deity worship, you don't stop it, or should she pay obeisances to Prabhupada. So she just acted instinctively. She got off the altar, which was just a little step in that particular place, on the floor, and paid obeisances to Prabhupada, and got back up and continued with arti. And then later she asked Prabhupada, did I do the right thing? He said, you did the right thing. And then, I don't know if he narrated this, but when Romaharshan, although he was speaking, he should have paid his obeisances to the personality of Godhead who the scripture is glorifying. There he comes. You pay obeisances. He didn't. So what did Balaram do? He took one blade of grass, kusa grass specifically, but grass is soft, and held the blade of grass in front of him and touched his heart, and it pierced his heart, and he died right there on the Vyasa sun. Bloody mess all over the place. Romaharshan finished. So the sages were like, and Balaram said, well, if you want, I can bring him back to life. He said, no, whatever you did is your will. But what are we going to do now? Because we are assembled to hear the Vedas, to hear the Puranas. He said, well, the son is the representative of the father, and Sutta Goswami is qualified to narrate. He's learned everything from his father, so he can continue the narration. So that's what happened. Sutta Goswami became the successor in narrating, because Romaharshan was entrusted with this service directly by Vyas. After compiling all the Puranas, Romaharshan was entrusted with the service of preserving and speaking the Puranic literature. One more, and I think we're ready to close. Another demon killed by Balaram was Bamvala. Without the detail, he's the son of Ilvala. This detailed description given in the Vedas. And this was taking place at the request of the sages of Naimisaranya. They were performing a sacrifice there, and Balvala was coming and desecrating the sacrifice just as it was concluding. So Balaram came, and with his plow, he caught the head or the neck of Balvala when he was in the middle of his dirty business, dragged him to the ground, and smashed him. End of Balvala. there's a little description. Later, when Yudhisthira had become king, Balaram came to visit. Nice old painting of the embrace of Yudhisthira embracing Lord Balaram. Now, Balaram is the personality of Godhead, but Yudhisthira is the emperor, and just like Krishna is the cousin, so Balaram's a cousin. So they treated each other like that, by social decorum. And then finally, the disappearance of Krishna and Balaram and the Yadu dynasty. It's an event, as you know from the Bhagavatam narration. Some of the boys were making fun of the Brahmanas who had assembled to perform a sacrifice on behalf of the kings, the royal family in Dwarka. And at the end, some of the boys came forward and were teasing or mocking or making fun of the Brahmanas, asking, "See this woman here with a protruding belly, she's pregnant, can you tell if it's going to be a boy or girl?" And it wasn't a boy or a girl, it wasn't even a lady, it was one of the boys making fun of the Brahmanas. So they made this curse. Yes, that protrusion from the belly of this young person will be the destruction of the Yadu dynasty, because you've offended the Brahmanas. We curse you. So the boys came back and told the story to Ugrasena, who then requested the following procedure: that lump of iron should be ground into fine powder, and then the powder thrown into the sea, like people do with their garbage these days, and have big islands as big as Rhode Island, big mountains of plastic garbage floating around. So they threw all the iron filings into the sea, except there was one piece that they couldn't grind. So they threw that into a fish swallow. The fish was caught. The fisherman sold the fish to a hunter. The hunter opened up the fish, found this iron, and used the iron to make a tip for an arrow that hit the heel of Krishna. Krishna left the world that way. But the iron filings all washed up to the shore of Pravas, which is not far from Dwarka. Later they became these bamboo sticks, and the whole Yadu dynasty was destroyed by Krishna, withdrawn from this world by Krishna's arrangement, because his pastimes were about to close. And this was part of his pastime, to send everybody back to where they came from, to assist him with his pastimes. So now it's just, we're going to see some nice images of the deities of Krishna Balaram, different places. Of course, this is Vrindavan. Chandan Yatra in Vrindavan, Krishna Balaram. Were you in Vrindavan when Krishna Balaram were installed? Gary? Anyone here? No? I was there. It was really a fantastic event. There's an image showing Prabhupada performing the arti. Here's the laying of the cornerstone before the construction actually began. And there's a wonderful chapter of ISKCON history of how earnest and intense Prabhupada was to complete the construction timely. He designed everything, and oversaw everything. And Guru Kripa told me a story that Prabhupada had something like 300 workers, 24 hours a day, in shifts, of course, working on completing the construction. He was really determined to get it done timely. So much so that when Prabhupada was in Vrindavan, staying in his quarters, because they finished his quarters first so he could stay there, there was this sound all night long. So Guru Kripa told me, he asked Prabhupada, would you like the construction to stop at night so you can sleep because it's noisy? And Prabhupada said, oh, it is kirtan. It should continue. He wanted so much for the completion. And when it was completed, he personally performed the initial arti for Krishna Balaram. And this is a little Prabhupada story that one of his disciples narrated. I wasn't there, so I can't verify. But Prabhupada explained why he installed Balaram by the side of Krishna. And Prabhupada's explanation was, because I have engaged my followers in the missionary work of spreading Krishna consciousness. And in the missionary work of spreading Krishna consciousness, you have to meet so many obstacles. So you need spiritual strength to face all those obstacles in spreading Krishna consciousness. For that reason, I have placed Balaram by the side of Krishna, so my followers would have the strength necessary to carry out the mission that I've given to them. A famous photograph, of course, Prabhupada's Samadhi is now over to our left, or to the right of the temple entrance where you exit. But this is one of the Vrindavan festivals at the time of the inauguration of Krishna Balaram. Later, in France, there's Krishna Balaram deities in New Mayapur. There's another image of the same deity. There's a close-up of Krishna with Balaram's hand on his shoulder, and a close-up of Balaram. Some of you have been to Govardhan Hill, and there's this nice property that Giriraj Maharaj and Tamal Krishna Maharaj secured, where Keshava Bharati is now staying. There's these deities, Govardhan Shilas of Krishna and Balaram. In Bhadrak, Orissa, there's Revati Balaram. And of course in Jagannath Puri is Baladev himself. And everywhere all over we observe Rath Yatra with Balaram, one of the primary carts. Here's Bhubaneswar, the deities of Krishna Balaram. In Jaipur, nice devotee, Pancharatna Prabhu has established Krishna Balaram there. In close-up in Jaipur of Balaram and Krishna. This is in Mauritius. Mauritius is the east coast of Africa, an island, and they have Krishna Balaram deities there. In New South Wales and Australia, very beautiful Krishna Balaram deities. Here's a close-up of them, Balaram and Krishna. In the San Diego temple, they have a Balaram Shila on the altar. This is a devotee I know who has Krishna Balaram Govardhan Shilas. And the last image here. Anybody recognize this deity? Udupi Krishna. But Udupi Krishna, this is a rare photo because they normally don't allow photos. But I know someone that knows the Pujari who snuck a photo. Krishna dressed on Balaram's appearance day, carrying his plowshare, Balaram's plowshare, on the occasion of Balaram's appearance day. So these are some nice images of not all the Krishna Balaram deities in his time, but a number of them. And in honor of Balaram, the original spiritual master, the source of all spiritual strength, and the one that will assist us in complete our journey back to Godhead if we call upon Him and take shelter of Him, run into Him on His appearance day or the day after His appearance day. Looks like it's a good thing you've got a new temple, because look at all the people here. You wouldn't fit in the previous place. 1683 Main Street. So again, congratulations to all of you for successfully achieving this. There's probably some more work and more funds and more everything that's needed. But nice going. Well done. Well done. And as I said, especially PRE in a good way. But a team of people, you can't do something like this alone. Any comments, questions from anyone? PRE.
The class was excellent. I have one question. I don't know if you know the answer. I'm just curious if there's probably some reason why Balaram likes Duryodhana. And I don't know if you know anything about that.
All right, I have searched for an answer. And I haven't found an answer from our acharyas.
At least that saves me the trouble of searching.
It's something, what I have read is something like, it doesn't say specifically, but when Krishna asked Yudhisthira, say Ashvatthama is dead, and he hesitated. There was a lesson involved. When Krishna asked, that's Dharma. So now Krishna told Bhima how to strike Duryodhana. And Bhima had been trained in using the club by Balaram. So Balaram took exception, but it was Krishna that gave the instruction, and Krishna that made the arrangement long ago so that he'll be vulnerable in his thighs. You don't hit somebody below the waist. But Krishna said, hit him in the thighs. That'll break his leg, because otherwise he's invulnerable by the power of Gandhari. The body is invincible. You have to hit him there. So it's just, it's the instruction of Krishna being shown, like with Karna. Karna saying, how can you do this? You're the upholder of Dharma, and you're having Arjuna fire an arrow and fixing my chariot wheel. And Krishna let him have it. Upholder of Dharma. Who are you to speak about Dharma? This and that and that. You deserve to be killed. And like an animal. So, one of those giving Krishna an opportunity to do something that looks like it shouldn't be, but it was done that way. And of course that could have happened without Balaram befriending him. So why was Balaram kindly to him? It doesn't exactly explain that. But it was, one of those between the two transcendental brothers, a point where Duryodhana's evilness centered on his disrespect for the Pandavas, which means you disrespect Krishna. How could Balaram honor someone who's disrespecting the Pandavas, meaning disrespecting Krishna? Doesn't answer the question. It's interesting, but it doesn't answer the question. But Krishna broke that otherwise moral principle, dharma principle, for a higher principle. He's a wicked person. He deserves to be given death penalty. Doesn't answer the question. Someone's car alarm going on?
It's the first time we have this, I want you to know.
have your younger daughter niece on.
Reminds me of New York City.
If Balaram wanted you to feel at home.
Any other question? Because otherwise I got something else I want to do. Yes?
Yes, sir. I have a question. In Dwarka, is there a prevailing mood or rasa that the residents or devotees have?
Is there a prevalent rasa? Well, yes. Here's Bhaktisiddhanta's explanation from Brahma Samhita. The three places of Krishna's pastimes, Vrindavan, Mathura, and Dwarka. Now, they're all three are part of Goloka. Actually, there's a fourth, and that's Swaitadweep, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu performs his pastimes. Interesting. Can you do that later? It's a little distracting. More than a little. Thanks. Yeah. Vrindavan, Mathura, and Dwarka. Each one of them is becoming more Aishvarya Bhav related. Whereas in Vrindavan, there's no Aishvarya Bhav, it's all Madhurya. There's still Madhurya in Dwarka, but more Aishvarya than in Vrindavan and more Aishvarya than in Mathura. But not as much Aishvarya as in Ayodhya and then the rest of Hadidam. You follow what I just said? I'll say it again. You look a little puzzled. The difference between Vaikuntha or Haridam, Golokanavni Nijadani Tade Chatasya Devi Maheshu Haridama Soteshu Teshu. You know the verse? So it's a hierarchy from where Brahma was standing and looking up, Devi Dham, Mahesh Dham, Haridham, Goloka Dham. So in Goloka, there are these three principal places of Krishna's pastimes, Vrindavan, Mathura, and Dwarka. In Dwarka, there's more Aishvarya, like in Haridham, Aishvarya Bhav, the sense of majesty of Krishna. The all-opulent Purushottama, Krishna. Right? Opulence, like, wow. But sweetness, 16,000 queens. You don't have that in Vaikuntha, 16,108, with 10 sons, with each, there's a sweetness in Dwarka that far surpasses that of Ayodhya or Vaikuntha. But there's a majesty in Dwarka, Aishvarya Bhav, that's much greater than that of Mathura and certainly greater than that of Vrindavan. Does that answer your question?
Yes, kind of like an awe and reverence with an overtone of sweetness.
Yes. That's a short way of saying what I said. An overtone of awe and reverence with a little sweetness. Okay. More than a little sweetness, though. More than a little. A lot. But significantly more sense of awe and reverence than and majesty than in the diamond, for sure. Anything else?